There is a week coming for you, Pisces, that will feel unlike anything you have experienced in a very long time. And if you have been walking through a kind of invisible heaviness, a blur that makes everything feel just slightly out of reach, then what I am about to share with you is going to change the way you see the next 7 days entirely. The fog is lifting. Not slowly, not partially, but fully. And you, more than any other sign, are going to feel it first. That is not a coincidence. That is not luck. That is the universe recognizing that you have been doing the quiet, invisible work that nobody else could see. You have been holding things together when the world around you felt unstable. You have been carrying emotions that were not always yours. And now the air is clearing. The weight is easing. And what is about to come through that clearing is something you need to be ready for. This script is going to walk you through 10 powerful shifts that are already building in your energy field right now. Each one of them is connected. Each one builds on the last. And by the time you reach the end, you will not just understand what is happening, you will know exactly how to move with it. So stay with me. Every single section matters. Let us begin. Tip 1. The emotional weight you have been carrying is not yours anymore. There is something that happens to people born under your sign that most others will never fully understand. You absorb. You take in the feelings of the people around you, the moods of the rooms you walk into, the unspoken tensions that float beneath the surface of every conversation. You do this without trying. You do this without even realizing it half the time. And over the past several weeks, maybe even longer, you have been carrying a weight that was never meant to stay with you this long. Think about it for a moment. Think about how you have been feeling lately. That tiredness that does not seem connected to how much sleep you get. That heaviness in your chest that shows up even on days when nothing particularly difficult has happened. That sense of being slightly disconnected from your own joy. As if happiness is something you can see through a window but cannot quite touch. That is not depression. That is not failure. That is the residue of other people's emotional storms that got caught in your energy and never fully passed through. This week something shifts. The fog that has been sitting over your emotional landscape begins to thin out. And as it does, you start to feel a separation happening. A gentle but unmistakable pulling apart of what belongs to you and what was never yours to hold. This is not something you have to force. This is not something that requires a dramatic ritual or a painful confrontation. It is happening naturally, like the sun burning through morning mist. All you have to do is let it. But here is where it gets important. As this weight lifts, you may feel a strange kind of guilt. You may feel like you are abandoning the people whose pain you have been holding. You may feel selfish for suddenly feeling lighter when the people around you are still struggling. I need you to hear this very clearly. That guilt is a lie. It is the last thread of that old energy trying to keep you tethered. Letting go of someone else's pain does not mean you stop caring about them. It means you stop drowning alongside them. And a person standing on solid ground can offer a hand far more effectively than a person treading water. This week, you are going to notice moments where you suddenly feel free. Not in a dramatic way, not in a fireworks kind of way. More like taking a deep breath after being in a room with the windows closed for too long. That first breath of clear air, that is what is coming for you. And it is going to feel so good that you might actually cry. Not from sadness, from relief. From the realization that you have been carrying so much for so long that you forgot what it felt like to stand without the extra weight. Pay attention to those moments. Do not rush past them. Do not immediately fill that space with new worries or new responsibilities. Just breathe. Just let yourself feel the lightness. Because that lightness, that is the real you. That is who you are underneath all the layers you have been wearing for other people. And the next shift that is coming is going to show you exactly what to do with that clarity once it arrives. Tip 2. Your intuition is about to get louder than it has been in months. If there is one gift that your sign carries more powerfully than almost any other, it is intuition. You do not just have gut feelings. You have deep, full-body knowings that come from somewhere beyond logic. You have always had this. Even as a child, you could sense things before they happened. You could feel when someone was lying. You could walk into a situation and know, without a single word being spoken, exactly what was really going on beneath the surface. But here is the thing about intuition. It needs clarity to function at its highest level. And when you are weighed down by emotional fog, when you are carrying the stress and pain of everyone around you, that inner voice gets muffled. It does not disappear. It could never disappear, but it gets quieter. It gets harder to hear over the noise of everything else you are processing. And for the past stretch of time, that is exactly what has been happening. Your intuition has been trying to speak to you, but the signal has been weak because there has been too much interference. This week, as the fog lifts, your intuition is going to come roaring back. And I do not use that word lightly. It is going to be loud. It is going to be clear. It is going to show you things that you have been uncertain about for weeks or even months, and it is going to show them to you with a certainty that leaves no room for doubt. You might wake up one morning and suddenly know the answer to a question you have been wrestling with. You might be in the middle of a conversation and feel a flash of understanding that changes the entire way you see a relationship. You might be doing something completely ordinary, washing dishes, taking a walk, sitting quietly, and a thought will land in your mind with such force and precision that you will stop what you are doing and just stand there knowing. When this happens, do not second guess it. This is the part that matters most. Your pattern, especially in recent times, has been to receive these intuitive hits and then immediately start questioning them. You start looking for logical proof. You start asking other people what they think. You start analyzing it from every angle until the original knowing gets buried under layers of doubt. This week, I need you to break that pattern. When your gut speaks, listen. When your body tells you something, honor it. When a knowing arrives, trust it the first time. Your intuition is not random. It is not wishful thinking. It is not anxiety dressed up as insight. It is the deepest, wisest part of you communicating in the only language it knows: feeling. And this week, the channel is wide open. The static is gone. What you hear in that silence is going to guide the decisions you make for the rest of this month. So pay very close attention. The quieter you get, the more you will hear. And what you hear next is going to surprise you in the best possible way. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. A relationship is about to reveal its true nature. There is someone in your life right now, and you already know who I am talking about even if you do not want to admit it, whose role is about to become unmistakably clear. For a while now, this connection has existed in a kind of gray area. You have not been sure if this person is truly for you or simply near you. You have not been able to tell if their presence is a blessing or a comfortable habit that you have outgrown. The fog made it impossible to see clearly. The emotional weight you were carrying made it hard to trust your own feelings about this person. But this week, the veil drops. And when it does, you are going to see this relationship with a clarity that might take your breath away. For some of you, this is going to be a beautiful revelation. You are going to look at someone you have been uncertain about and suddenly see, really see, how deeply they care. You are going to notice the small things they have been doing all along that you were too clouded to appreciate. The way they check on you without being asked. The way they give you space when you need it without making you feel guilty for needing it. The way they show up consistently, not with grand gestures, but with the kind of quiet reliability that is worth more than any dramatic declaration of love. For others of you, this clarity is going to reveal something harder. You are going to see, with a sharpness you cannot deny, that a certain relationship has been costing you more than it has been giving you. Not because the other person is bad, not because they intended harm, but because the dynamic between you has shifted into something unbalanced. You have been giving 80–90% of the energy, and they have been offering just enough to keep you from walking away. This week, you will see that pattern clearly for the first time, and you will know, deep in your bones, that something has to change. Here is the thing about clarity, though. It does not always feel comfortable. Sometimes seeing the truth about a relationship is more painful than living in the fog. The fog, for all its confusion, at least allowed you to hope. It allowed you to tell yourself stories. Maybe they will change. Maybe it will get better. Maybe I am just being too sensitive. Clarity takes those stories away and replaces them with what is actually there. And that can hurt. But I promise you, Pisces, that hurt is temporary. What you gain from seeing clearly is permanent. Do not make any sudden moves this week based on these revelations. Let the clarity settle. Let the truth have a day or two to breathe before you take action. Sometimes the first wave of seeing clearly brings strong emotions, And decisions made in strong emotions are not always the wisest ones. But do not ignore what you see either. Write it down if you need to. Speak it out loud to yourself. Acknowledge what your clear eyes are showing you. Because the next shift coming your way is going to require that you know exactly who is standing beside you and who is simply standing nearby. Tip 4. A financial or material situation is about to shift in your favor. I know this might sound surprising, because your sign is not typically associated with material concerns. You are the dreamer, the feeler, the one who cares more about meaning than money, and there is nothing wrong with that. But let us be honest with each other for a moment. You have been worried about something practical lately, something related to money, to resources, to the physical stability of your life. Maybe it is a bill that has been hanging over you. Maybe it is a job situation that feels uncertain. Maybe it is a general sense that the ground beneath your feet is not as solid as you would like it to be. This week something moves. Not in a lottery-winning, overnight miracle kind of way, but in a real, tangible, noticeable way. An opportunity appears. A door opens that you did not even know existed. A conversation happens that leads to something concrete. Or perhaps money that was owed to you finally arrives. Or a cost that you were dreading turns out to be much less than expected. The specifics will vary from person to person, but the energy is the same. Relief is coming. But here is what I need you to understand. This shift is not accidental. It is directly connected to the emotional clearing that is happening at the same time. When you are weighed down by fog, when your energy is scattered across other people's problems, your ability to see opportunities shrinks. You walk right past open doors because your head is down and your eyes are clouded. You miss signals. You miss connections. You miss the subtle nudges from the universe that say, look here, go this way, talk to this person. As the fog lifts, your vision expands. And that expansion is not just emotional or spiritual. It is practical. You start noticing things you missed before. You start thinking more clearly about your own needs and your own future. You start making decisions from a place of clarity instead of survival mode. And those clear-headed decisions are what open the door to this material shift. Now, I want to be careful here because I know how your mind works. You might hear this and immediately start worrying that you will miss the opportunity. You might start anxiously scanning your life for signs, trying to force the shift to happen faster. Please do not do that. The energy is already in motion. Your job is not to chase it. Your job is to stay clear, stay present, and trust that what is meant for you will find you. It always has. Even in the foggiest seasons of your life, what was truly yours eventually made its way to you. This week, meet it halfway. Stay open. Say yes to conversations you might normally avoid. Follow up on that idea you shelved months ago. Look at your finances with clear eyes and ask yourself what small step you can take right now to create more stability. You do not need to overhaul your entire life. You just need to take one step. The universe will meet that step with momentum you did not expect. And what happens next in your emotional world is going to make that momentum even stronger. Tip 5. Your creative energy is waking up after a long sleep. There was a time, and you remember it even if it feels distant now, when ideas flowed through you like water. When you could sit down and write or paint or sing or build or cook or imagine with an ease that felt almost effortless. Creativity was not something you had to summon. It was something that lived in you, something that expressed itself through everything you touched. You saw beauty where others saw ordinary. You found meaning in small things. You turned feelings into something visible, something shareable, something real. And then, somewhere along the way, that river slowed to a trickle. Maybe it was the weight of responsibilities. Maybe it was the fog of carrying everyone else's emotions. Maybe it was simply the exhaustion of living in a world that does not always make space for sensitive, creative souls. Whatever the cause, the result was the same. The flow stopped, the ideas dried up, and you started to wonder if that creative part of you was gone for good. It was not gone. It was sleeping. And this week it wakes up. You are going to feel it in small ways at first. A color catches your eye and holds your attention longer than usual. A piece of music moves you to tears for reasons you cannot explain. You find yourself daydreaming in the middle of the afternoon, your mind painting pictures of things that do not exist yet but feel like they should. You get an urge to rearrange a room, to plant something, to write a letter, to start a project that has been sitting in the back of your mind for months. Do not dismiss these impulses. They are not distractions. They are signals. They are the creative current starting to flow again after being dammed up for too long. And the more you honor them, the stronger the flow becomes. Here is something most people do not understand about creativity in your sign. For you, creation is not a hobby. It is not something you do on the side when everything else is handled. It is the way you process the world. It is the way you make sense of your emotions, your experiences, your place in the larger story of life. When you stop creating, you stop processing. And when you stop processing, the fog rolls in. The two are directly connected. So this creative awakening is not just about art or expression. It is about your mental and emotional health. It is about reconnecting with the part of yourself that knows how to take everything you feel and turn it into something beautiful, something useful, something that helps you understand your own life and helps others understand theirs. This week, give yourself permission to create without purpose. Not everything you make needs to be shared. Not everything needs to be finished. Not everything needs to be good. Just let it flow. Write the messy first draft. Sing the song nobody else will hear. Sketch the image that is only for your eyes. Cook the meal that is pure experimentation. The act of creating is the medicine. The product is secondary. And as that creative energy starts flowing again, something else is going to shift inside you that you did not see coming. Tip 6. You are going to stop apologizing for taking up space. This one might hit you harder than you expect, so take a breath before we go further. You have spent a very, very long time making yourself smaller than you actually are. Not physically smaller, though for some of you that is part of it too. I mean energetically, emotionally. You have been shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed for someone as deep and vast as you are. You apologize when you have done nothing wrong. You say sorry for having feelings. You say sorry for needing things. You say sorry for existing too loudly, too intensely, too much. You walk into a room and immediately calculate how much of yourself you are allowed to show without making anyone uncomfortable. You edit your words before they leave your mouth. You soften your opinions so they do not land too heavily. You dim your light so that others do not have to squint. And you have been doing this for so long that you might not even realize you are doing it anymore. It has become automatic, reflexive, as natural as breathing. But it is not natural. It is a survival strategy you developed a long time ago, probably in childhood, when you learned that the world was not always safe for people who feel as deeply as you do. This week, something cracks open inside you. Not dramatically, not with a sudden burst of rebellion, more like a slow sunrise. You start to notice the moments when you shrink. You start to catch yourself mid-apology and realize, wait, I have nothing to be sorry for. You start to feel a quiet but unmistakable sense that you have been giving away too much of yourself, and something inside you simply stops. This does not mean you become aggressive or confrontational. That is not who you are. But you start holding your ground. You start speaking without the cushion of unnecessary apologies. You start allowing your emotions to be their full size without immediately trying to make them smaller for someone else's comfort. And the people who love you, the ones who truly see you, they are going to welcome this change. They have been waiting for it. The ones who do not welcome it, well, that tells you everything you need to know, does it not? Here is what I want you to sit with. The space you take up in this world is not a burden to anyone who genuinely cares about you. Your depth is not too much. Your feelings are not too big. Your needs are not unreasonable. You have simply been in the habit of measuring yourself against a standard that was never meant for someone like you. That standard was built for people who feel less, who need less, who move through the world on the surface. You are not a surface person. You never were. And this week, you are going to stop pretending that you are. Let yourself take up space. Let your feelings be their full size. Let your voice be as loud or as quiet as it naturally wants to be. The world does not need another person shrinking themselves to fit in. The world needs someone brave enough to be their full size. And this week, Pisces, that someone is you. And the next thing that is going to happen because of this shift is something you truly need to hear. Tip 7. A truth you have been avoiding is going to find you. You already know what I am about to say. Some part of you has been circling this truth for a while now, getting close enough to feel its heat but never quite close enough to look it in the eye. You have been avoiding it, not because you are a coward. You are one of the bravest signs in the entire cycle, but because this truth carries weight. Acknowledging it means something has to change. And change, even good change, is terrifying when you are someone who feels everything at full volume. Maybe this truth is about your health. Maybe you have been ignoring signals from your body, telling yourself you will deal with it later, putting off the appointment, pretending the discomfort will go away on its own. Maybe this truth is about a habit, something you do to numb yourself, to escape, to avoid feeling the things you do not want to feel. Maybe it is about a dream you abandoned, something you wanted so badly that when it did not work out, you buried it so deep that you almost forgot it was there. Almost. Whatever this truth is, it has been patient. It has been waiting in the wings, not pushing, not demanding, just present, hovering at the edge of your awareness like a word on the tip of your tongue. And this week, the fog lifts enough that you cannot avoid it anymore. It steps into the light, and you see it clearly, fully, without the comfortable distortion of avoidance. I know this sounds heavy, but here is the beautiful part. When you finally face a truth you have been avoiding, the relief is immediate. Not the truth itself. The truth might be hard, but the act of turning toward it instead of away from it releases a tension that you have been carrying in your body, in your mind, in your spirit for far too long. The energy you have been spending to keep this truth at a distance. And it takes enormous energy to avoid something, much more energy than it takes to face it. That energy is suddenly free, and you get to use it for something else, something better. Do not be afraid of what you see this week. Remember, you are not the same person you were the last time you tried to face this. You are clearer now. You are lighter now. The emotional weight of other people's pain is no longer clouding your judgment. You can see this truth and hold it without being crushed by it. You have the strength for this, even if you do not feel like you do. Your strength has never been the loud, visible kind. Your strength is the kind that bends without breaking, that absorbs without shattering, that endures without hardening. And this truth, whatever it is not going to break you. It is going to free you. Face it this week. Not next week. Not next month. This week. The energy is aligned for it. The clarity is there. Your intuition is sharp. Your creative spirit is awake. Everything that has been building in these first 7 shifts has been preparing you for this moment. And what comes after this moment is something truly remarkable. Tip 8. People from your past are going to resurface, and you will see them differently. This is one of those shifts that catches you off guard because it seems to come from the outside, but it is actually being driven by the changes happening inside you. As your energy clears, as your intuition sharpens, as you stop shrinking and start standing in your full presence, you send out a signal, not a conscious one, not something you post online or announce to the world. An energetic signal, frequency, and certain people from your past are going to pick up on that frequency and reappear in your life this week. Some will reach out directly, a message you did not expect, a call from someone you have not heard from in months or even years. Some will show up more subtly. You will think about someone and then see their name somewhere. You will dream about a person from your past, and then hear a song that reminds you of them. The universe has a way of bringing people back into your orbit when the timing is right, and this week the timing is very right. But here is the key difference. You are not the same person these people knew. You have changed. Your eyes are clearer. Your boundaries are stronger. Your sense of self is sharper. And because you have changed, you are going to see these people differently than you did before. The ones you once put on a pedestal might look more human now, more flawed. Not in a disappointing way, but in a realistic way. You might realize that you idealized someone because you could not see clearly, and now that the fog is gone, you see them as they truly are. Imperfect, complicated, and still worthy of love, but not the version of them you carried in your imagination. On the other side of that, people you dismissed or overlooked might suddenly appear in a new light. Someone you wrote off as unimportant might reveal a depth you never noticed. Someone whose kindness you took for granted might suddenly strike you as extraordinary. The fog distorts everything, Pisces. It makes some things look bigger than they are and some things look smaller. When it lifts, the true proportions of your relationships become visible. Do not feel guilty about seeing people differently. This is growth. This is what clarity does. It rearranges your understanding of the world, and sometimes that means your understanding of the people in it shifts too. The question is not whether you were right then or right now. The question is what you do with this new seeing. If someone from your past reaches out and your clear intuition says yes, welcome them with open arms. If someone reaches out and your gut tightens, honor that. You do not owe anyone access to the new version of you simply because they knew the old one. Some people are meant to return. Some are meant to pass through. This week, you will know the difference with a certainty that surprises even you. And what is building underneath all of these shifts is the most important one of all. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. Your sense of purpose is crystallizing into something you can actually name. For a long time you have felt it. That pull, that sense that you are here for something specific, something meaningful, something that goes beyond paying bills and getting through the day. You have always known, somewhere deep inside, that your life is supposed to mean something. That your sensitivity, your depth, your ability to feel the world so intensely. These are not accidents. They are tools. They are gifts meant to be used for something larger than yourself. But naming that purpose, putting it into words, giving it shape, turning it from a vague feeling into a clear direction, that has been the challenge. You have tried so many times. You have started things and stopped them. You have explored paths that felt right at first but then led nowhere. You have listened to well-meaning people who told you to be practical, be realistic, stop dreaming so much. And part of you believed them. Part of you started to wonder if that deep pull was just wishful thinking. Just your imagination being too active for its own good. This week, something clicks into place. Not all at once, and maybe not in the way you expect. But you are going to have a moment, maybe more than one, where your purpose stops being a feeling and starts being a thought. A clear, articulable, shareable thought. You are going to be able to say, for the first time in a long time, this is what I am meant to do. Or at least, this is the direction I am meant to move in. It might come during a conversation with someone who asks you a simple question, and your answer surprises even you. It might come in a moment of quiet when a thought lands in your mind that is so clear and so right that it feels like it was placed there by something larger than yourself. It might come through your renewed creativity, through a project or an idea that suddenly connects. You have been trying to connect for years. Whatever form it takes, I need you to write it down. Do not trust your memory on this one. When purpose crystallizes, it sometimes fades back into feeling if you do not anchor it in the physical world. Write it down. Say it out loud. Tell someone you trust. Give it weight. Give it presence. Make it real. And here is something that might ease the pressure you have been putting on yourself. Purpose does not have to be one grand, world-changing thing. It does not have to be a career. It does not have to be something you get paid for. It does not have to look impressive to anyone else. Purpose for someone like you might be as simple as this. I am here to help people feel less alone. I am here to create beauty in ordinary moments. I am here to remind the people I love that they are seen. That is purpose. That is real, meaningful, world-changing purpose, even if it never makes headlines. Your purpose is not something you need to find somewhere out there. It is something that is already inside you, waiting for the fog to lift so it can be seen. And this week you see it. Maybe for the first time clearly. Maybe for the first time without doubt. Hold on to it. Protect it. Let it guide the decisions you make from this point forward. Because the final shift that is coming is going to show you exactly how much power that clarity gives you. Tip 10. You are entering a season where what you feel and what you do finally align. This is the one that ties everything together. This is the shift that makes all the other shifts matter. Because you can clear the emotional weight, you can sharpen your intuition, you can see relationships clearly, you can face hard truths, you can reconnect with your creativity, you can find your purpose, but none of it changes your life if you do not act on it. And acting on what you feel has always been your greatest challenge. You feel everything deeply. You understand things on levels that most people cannot even access. But when it comes to translating those feelings and understandings into action, into decisions, into movements, into tangible steps in the physical world, that is where you get stuck. Not because you are lazy, not because you lack courage, but because the gap between what you feel and what you do has always been wide for you. The inner world is so rich, so vast, so full of meaning, that the outer world sometimes feels clumsy and inadequate by comparison. How do you turn a symphony into a single note? How do you translate the entire ocean into a cup of water? This week, that gap starts to close. And it closes because everything else has shifted first. The fog is gone so you can see where to step. The emotional weight is lifted, so you have the energy to move. Your intuition is clear, so you trust the direction. Your purpose is crystallized, so you know what you are moving toward. All the pieces that needed to be in place before you could act with confidence, they are in place now. The conditions are set. The runway is clear. You are going to notice it in small ways at first. You make a phone call you have been putting off. You have a conversation you have been avoiding. You sign up for something. You commit to something. You take a step that, in any other week, you would have thought about endlessly but never actually taken. And it feels natural, not forced, not terrifying, just right. This is the season you have been waiting for, Pisces. The season where your inner world and your outer world start speaking the same language. Where the things you feel in your deepest moments become the things you do in your everyday moments. Where your sensitivity stops being a barrier to action and starts being the fuel for it. Because you do not act despite your feelings. You act because of them. Your feelings are not weakness. They are the most powerful compass you have. And when that compass is clear, when the fog is gone and the needle is steady, there is nothing in this world you cannot navigate. Do not wait for perfection. Do not wait until you feel ready, because if you wait for that, you will wait forever. Readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision. And this week, the energy is asking you to decide. Not to plan. Not to think about it. Not to weigh every possible outcome. Decide. One thing. One step. One commitment that moves you from where you are toward where your purpose is calling you to be. The universe does not reward the people who understand the most. It rewards the people who move. And you, Pisces, have understood enough. You have felt enough. You have waited enough. This is your week to move. And everything that has been building in your energy, in your clarity, in your spirit, is ready to move with you. I want you to sit with something for a moment before we finish here. I want you to really let it land. You have survived every single season of fog that has ever come into your life. Every one. There were times when the heaviness felt permanent. Times when you could not see a day ahead, let alone a week or a month. Times when you wondered if the light would ever come back. And every single time, it did. You are still here. You are still standing. You are still feeling, still caring, still hoping, still reaching for something better. That is not fragility. That is resilience of the deepest kind. And now the fog is lifting again. But this time is different. This time you are not just waiting for the light to return on its own. You are meeting it halfway. You are doing the work. You are clearing the weight, sharpening your sight, facing your truths, reconnecting with your creativity, finding your purpose, and preparing to act. This is not passive survival anymore. This is active transformation, and it looks so incredibly good on you. The next 7 days are not just another week. They are an invitation to step into the version of yourself that you have always known was there but could never quite reach. The fog kept it hidden. The weight kept it pinned down. The noise of everyone else's pain kept it quiet. But now you can hear it. Now you can see it. Now you can feel it with every cell in your body. And it is saying, it is time. Do not let this moment pass. Do not go back to sleep after the alarm has rung. Do not close your eyes now that they are finally open. The world needs what you carry inside you. The people in your life need the real you, the full-sized, unapologetic, clear-eyed, purpose-driven you. And you deserve to finally live as that person. Not in some distant future. Not when everything is perfect. Now, this week, starting today, you have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift. Or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.